This is like a college game day panel. Yeah, where's Pat McAfee? Oh, I'm covering up the woman. I'm sorry. I don't want to cover up David Muir either. We love David Muir in this house.
Kamala Harris, Donald Trump.
Wait, where's Joe? Imagine guy who just hasn't been watching the news. It's like, what the f is going on? Please shake hands.
Kamala Harris.
Oh wow, he took the initiative to go shake her hand, to shake his hand. Wow, I mean, she initiated that. She walked to the middle. I just won 5K on DraftKings.
Often asks his supporters,
my FanDuel parlay already hit. Dude, he looks old as shit.
I believe in the ambition.
Please center the camera.
Literal centrist streamer. Need support, a tax
this shows where I align politically, guys. Neither of them are going to answer the question asked. I mean, she's answering it.
To start
I forgot the question. Me too.
Knowing they are part of the backbone of America's economy.
Dude, he's disassociating right now. He's just staring into the void. He misses Biden so much, bro. I do too. I just found out she's the candidate.
We're doing tariffs on other countries. Other countries are going to finally, after
that is such a bad idea. Can we get a lie counter on the stream? Yeah, go to HillaryClinton.com for a live fact check.
Millions of people pouring into our country from prisons and jails, from mental institutions.
He's already going off, man.
And they're coming in and they're taking.
This was not an immigration question, Donald.
Right, Springfield, Ohio. They are taking over the towns. They're taking over.
That's
buildings.
not even true.
They're going in.
Ohio mentioned
Biden, and we have to get them out. We have to get them out fast. I created one of the greatest economies.
I'd rather watch you than Hassan for this. You seem more informed. Thank you, man. Especially on 9/11 Eve.
Donald Trump left us the worst unemployment since the Great Depression.
Okay, as someone who would probably be unemployed if I wasn't a streamer, that was kind of awesome. Let's normalize being unemployed, please.
What you're going to hear tonight is a detailed and dangerous plan called Project 2025 that the former president intends on implementing if he were elected again.
You were coached to not nod when she says that. Shake your head the other way.
Number one, I have nothing to do, as you know, and as she knows better than anyone, I have nothing to do with Project 2025. That's out there.
That's not true, bro.
I don't want to
read it. They got the logs, bro. They got the logs, man. They got the logs on Reddit, bro.
Because he is more interested in defending himself than he is in looking out for you.
That's just a soundbite. They gave her that to say. Look, I went to the Wharton School of Finance.
That's just a
many of those professors, the top professors, think my plan is She copied Biden's plan, and it's like four sentences.
He's doing bad, bro.
Like run, spot, run. 4 sentences that are just,
he's doing really bad.
She doesn't have a plan. She doesn't have a plan.
She just said a plan.
The vice president brought up your tariffs, use of tariffs.
From my centrist POV, he's doing so bad.
Going to have higher prices?
Thank you, evil Mark Wahlberg in the YouTube chat.
All of the people can't go out and buy cereal or bacon or eggs or anything else.
It's actually true.
The people of our country are
I've been shopping at a different grocery store lately, and they don't have the bacon I like.
Well, let's be clear that the Trump administration resulted in a trade deficit, one of the highest we've ever seen in the history of America. He invited trade wars. You want to talk about his
He's got to stop like
China,
giving her like these like faces of like you got me. You can't do that, man.
He ended up selling.
Come on, you're just getting caught.
So
why when you look at her, you don't want her to think that like you like her. Like, if you get caught like looking at a girl and she looks back at you, she's gonna think you have a crush on her.
But look at his tweet. Thank you, President Xi! Exclamation point.
She's going to my philosophy now. In fact, I was going to send her a MAGA hat.
They're called posts retroactively, Kamala.
She's a Marxist. Everybody knows she's a Marxist. Her father's a Marxist professor in economics, and he taught her well. But when you look at what she's done to our country, and when you look at these millions and millions of people that are pouring into our country.
President Trump, you've often touted that you were able to kill Roe v. Wade. Last year, you said that you were proud to be the most pro-life president in American history.
As a centrist candidate, I think all babies should be killed in the womb.
Your administration
all of them. No more. Cut it out.
They have abortion in the 9th month.
It's not true, Donald. That's not true, Donald. They don't do that.
The governor before, he said the baby will be born and we will decide what to do with the baby. In other words, we'll execute the baby. And that's why I did that, because that predominates.
It's so crazy
that he radical. The Democrats are radical in that, which I think is a horrible pick, by the way, for our country. He also says execution after birth. It's an execution, no longer abortion, because the baby is born, is okay. And that's not okay with me.
There is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's born. Madam Vice President, I want to get your response.
Wait, they're actually fact-checking them.
Well, as I said, you're going to hear a bunch of lies, and that's not actually a surprising fact. Trump abortion bans that make no exception even for rape
Holy
and
shit,
incest.
it's so
which
nice to just
understand
have
what that
someone on the
means.
screen
A
that can
survivor
complete a
of
sentence,
crime to
even
their
if she
body
is going to
does not have
inherently
the
become
right
a
to
war
make a
criminal
decision
on
about
day
what
one of her
happens to
administration.
their
At the
body
very
next.
least, she
That
can
is
complete a sentence.
immoral. She didn't want that.
That
Her husband
this
didn't
is a
want that.
wild angle.
Understand, in his Project 2025, there would be a national abortion, a monitor that would be monitoring your pregnancies, your miscarriages, that certain
Like a hall
freedoms
monitor?
in decisions
Oh, that's
about
like when I
one's own
volunteered
body
in Texas outside
should
of
not be
abortion
made by the
clinics to
government.
report them to the
Thank you,
police, and we
Vice
got
President.
paid. We called them
It's a
abortion
lie.
bounties.
And
We
there's
would
no
sit
reason to sign
outside
a
and just
ban
call the
because
police. It
voting,
was a scrapped
and it may
OTK
take a little
video.
time,
It just
issue
didn't come
has
together in the
torn
edit.
reason they
She
lost
got the
to
light-skinned
the
stare.
millions and millions
She does,
of people
bro.
that had a
But if I could just get a yes or no, because your running mate, J.D. Vance, has said that you would veto it if it did come to your desk.
Well, I didn't discuss it with J.D. In all fairness, J.D. And I
You
don't
haven't
mind if
discussed
he has a certain
with your
view, but I
vice
think he was speaking
president
for me, but I
the
really
policy
didn't.
on an abortion ban?
We're close
He
to getting
hates the
started.
motherfucker.
They
To be
can
fair,
never
I
get
wouldn't want to talk to
disapproved.
JD
So it doesn't
either.
matter what
Like,
she says.
I
Wonderful.
talked to
Let's go to
RFK
Congress,
about
do
it.
Nowhere in America is a woman carrying a pregnancy to term and asking for an abortion. That is not happening. It's insulting to the women of America. And
Yeah, maybe not
understand
women,
what
but a
has
guy
been
like me,
happening under Donald
I
Trump's
low-key
abortion
be like,
bans.
hey, something happens in the back, the baby can go. This is a joke, by the way. I actually love children. In like a wholesome way.
Barely,
Not in like a
and what
weird
you
way.
are
We have to fucking
is
clarify on this
unconscionable.
goddamn platform because
And
every
the people
streamer's
of America
fucking pedophile
have
these days.
not-
A guy like me be born the baby at like the 26th month. I gotta get his vibe first. Once that dude starts talking, that's how I know.
And I'm going to actually do something really unusual, and I'm going to invite you to attend one of Donald Trump's rallies, because it's a really interesting thing to watch. You will see during the course of his rallies, he talks about fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter. He will talk about windmills cause cancer.
I like when he talks about Hannibal Lecter,
And what
though.
you will also notice is that people start leaving his rallies early out of
Oh, that'll
exhaustion
piss him
and
off.
boredom.
Yeah,
And I will tell you, the
now
one
you're
thing
gonna.
you will
Oh,
not
now
hear
he's
him
gonna
talk
get
about
pissed.
is
Don't
your
talk about the
and your
crowd, so you're gonna
desires.
piss him off.
And I'll do
Now you're
first,
talking
and
what
I
he
pledge
knows.
to you that
Point I
He's gonna be
wanted
like,
to
no,
respond.
first of
I would like
all,
to
they
respond.
Let me
leave
just ask,
Kamala's,
why
they
did you
leave.
try to kill that
They
bill?
leave
And
her. She
successfully
has.
so
She
that would
needs.
have put thousands of additional
She
agents
needs
and
Cardi
officers on the
B.
board.
First, let me respond as to the rallies. She said people start leaving. People don't go to her rallies. There's no reason to go. And the people that do go. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs. The people that came in, they're
It's not
eating the cats.
true.
They're eating.
It's not
they're
true.
eating the pets, and it's a shame.
I can't
As
believe
far
it.
as
I can't believe
rallies
he's
are
just
concerned,
saying
as
it.
far and if she becomes president,
I just
this
can't
country
believe it.
doesn't have a chance.
I can't believe
of
he literally
success.
said that.
Not only success, will end up being Venezuela on steroids.
I just want to clarify
Wait,
here.
that
you bring up
sounds lit.
Springfield, Ohio,
Are they gonna
and
correct them?
ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Well,
All
I've
this,
seen people on television.
Let me just say here, this is
I
the
People
I
on
saw it
television
on the
say my
TV.
dog was taken and used for food.
The people on the
that went
TV.
there.
Again, the Springfield city manager says there's no evidence of that. Vice
We'll
President
find
Harris,
out.
I'll let you respond to the rest of what you've heard.
You talk about extreme.
Oh my God. I still don't think a girl can be
if
president.
you want to
though. I
really
like.
know the inside
I mean,
track on an
doing
is,
everything
if you didn't
right,
make
but
it clear already,
I don't know, guys.
just ask
I
people,
can't
are
believe
not
he really
being
brought up the
addressed.
Ohio dog
I think
thing.
the choice is clear in this election.
Like, is there no
President Trump, I'll give you a quick minute to respond.
advisors telling him to not do that?
Thank you. In fact, I got more votes than any president, sitting president, in history by far.
Okay.
Let me continue on immigration.
That's cool,
It was what
man,
you
but
wanted to
you
talk
still
about
lost,
earlier,
though.
so let's get back to
That's a
as
lie?
well.
No, it is
President
true.
Trump, you call this the largest
He did
domestic
get
deportation
the
operation
most
in the history
votes
of, our
of a
country. You say
sitting
you would use the
presidential
National
candidate,
Guard. You say if
but
things
it
get out of
wasn't
control, you
more
have,
votes than Joe
no problem
Biden.
using the
It
U.S.
was low.
military.
It was a fraud, just like their number of 818,000
No,
jobs
those
that
numbers
they said
aren't
they created
true.
turned out to be a fraud.
President Trump, thank you. I'll let you respond, Vice President Harris.
Well, I think this is so rich, coming from someone who has been prosecuted for
Yeah.
national security
Yeah,
crimes,
34 felony
economic
charges.
crimes,
It is what it is.
election interference, has been found liable for sexual assault.
Dude, it's so
sentencing.
telling that like he doesn't even have like
And
a
let's be
physical
clear,
reaction
where each
to her
person
saying that he's
stands
liable
on the
for
issue
sexual
of what is
assault.
important about
Like,
respect
anybody
for
who
the
has
rule
any
of
sort of
law
morals
and
or,
respect
like,
for law enforcement.
Wouldn't
The
it, like
former
at
Vice
least like
President
an
called for
eyebrow twitch or
defunding.
something?
Every one of those cases was involved with the DOJ from Atlanta and Fani Willis. And the
He'd actually
DA
gain major points if he called out Fani Willis by talking about the, what's his name's case? Young Thug?
He's a go after
they're
me.
prosecuting Young Thug! She is so hot, permanently banned immediately.
With no
This is the one that weaponized, not me. She weaponized.
Not me.
I probably took a bullet to the head because of the things that they say about me. They talk about democracy. I'm a threat to democracy. They're the threat to democracy with a fake Russia investigation.
You said you wanted to ban fracking. Now you don't. You wanted mandatory government buyback programs for assault weapons. Now your campaign says you don't. You supported decriminalizing border crossings. Now you're taking a harder line. I know you say that your values have not changed.
Step back on all her cool,
so then why have so many
policies?
of your policies?
Those sounded awesome, actually. The only thing that I just won't even like give anybody credit on in this chat, even with the meme of centrism, is like you don't need an AR-15, bro. I'm so tired of this. Every single gun guy that I know that's obsessed with guns is like the worst archetype of human. Like they're like, oh, I'm so cool because I own a weapon that can fucking kill you. People die every fucking day. Like you're just a loser, bro.
Well, first of all, I wasn't given $400 million. I wish I was. My father was a Brooklyn builder, Brooklyn, Queens, but I was given a fraction of that, a tiny fraction, and I built it into many, many
billions of dollars. Wasn't it $100 million?
Many billions.
He just described $100 million compared to $400 million as a fraction. I mean, technically, yeah, it is a fourth. Holy shit.
She was big
2K
on defund
Twitch,
the police. In
almost
Minnesota,
2K on YouTube.
She went out. Wait a minute. I'm talking now. If you don't mind, please. Does that sound familiar?
Oh my God, he completely fumbled. Holy shit, he fumbled. She didn't even say that one time. Oh my God.
She wants to do
she didn't even say that one time.
On illegal aliens that are in prison. This is a radical left liberal that would do this.
Wasted all. Dude, he did.
Your gun. But if she won the election, the day after that election,
look at how mad he is now. They need to replace him with JD. It's the only way. It's the only way to go.
And I want to talk about the peaceful transfer of power, which, of course, we all know is a cornerstone of our democracy and the role of a president
agree to disagree,
in a moment
David.
of crisis. Mr. President, on January 6th, you told your supporters to march to the Capitol. You said you would be right there with them. The country and the world saw what played out at the Capitol that day, the officers coming under attack. Is there anything you regret about what you did on that day?
You just said a thing that isn't covered. Peacefully and patriotically, I said during my speech, not later on.
If you don't fight like hell.
And patriotically. And nobody on the other side was killed. Ashley Babbitt was shot.
Nobody on the other side was killed?
That should have never, ever shot her.
Oh, my God,
a disgrace. Bro. But we didn't do
this group of people
that have been treated so badly. I ask, what about all the people that are pouring
if you look
into
at the numbers that came back
that
after,
she allowed to pour in? She was the border czar. Remember that.
This is insane.
She was the border czar. That's because
I hope that like if you're very like politically like neutral, you don't understand. Your parents are conservative. You think you need to lean Trump. I get it, bro. I get being raised around that. I hope that this at the very least opens your eyes to how fucking batshit of a world that we live in right now. The guy on the left is like winning. By the way, guy on the left is currently winning.
But let me just
okay. That's why it's important to highlight these things. This shit is fucking crazy, bro. Which is why you need to vote for Joe Biden.
It's a very simple question.
Let's remember that when it came to the Proud Boys, a militia, the former president said, stand back and stand by. So for
why is he shaking his head?
Who remembers
we watched it. It's the same viewers, bro. It's the debate. They were gonna hang Mike Pence.
Our campaign
okay, that would have been kind of funny if they actually got to do that, though. To be fair, but I mean, at the end of the day, not a good call.
Donald Trump, the candidate, has said in this election there will be a bloodbath.
A bubble bath?
Let's turn the page on
this. Sorry, my audio cut out.
Back.
In the past couple of weeks leading up to this debate, you have said, quote, you lost by a whisker, that you, quote, didn't quite make it, that you came up a little bit short.
I said that?
Are you now acknowledging that you lost in 2020?
No, I don't acknowge that at all.
But
I said that sarcastically. You know that.
I was just joking.
That was said sarcastically. Look,
I was just joking.
All you have to do is look at it, and they should have sent it back to the legislature.
I'm back on his side now, actually.
They're trying to get them to vote. They can't even speak English. They don't even know what country they're in practically.
Oh, God forbid someone tries to move to America and can't speak English.
And that's why they're...
Donald Trump was fired by 81 million people. So let's be clear about that.
Oh,
and
he gets so mad when she like uses his own shit against him, bro. It's so funny.
World leaders are laughing at Donald Trump. I have talked with military leaders,
That's true.
some of whom work with you, and they say you're a disgrace.
That is true.
And when
but it's just because he's a funny guy that has good vibes in the room, though.
A presidential
like, he's
debate
misrepresenting
and
that.
I'll give you 1 minute to respond, Mr. President.
Let me just say about world leaders. Viktor Orban, one of the most respected men. They call him a strong man. He's a tough person.
Nobody likes
Smart.
that dude, man. Nobody likes Viktor Orban from Hungary, man.
But he ended the XL pipeline. The XL pipeline. But he let the Russians build a pipeline going all over Europe and heading into Germany, the biggest pipeline in the world.
She goes, yeah, and you got the smallest pipeline in the world.
Most feared person.
Boom. Put me in the coaching room for Kamala next time.
Turning now to the Israel-Hamas war and
here we go. I want to hear from both of you motherfuckers on this.
Among them. You said that 9 months ago. Now an estimated 40,000 Palestinians are dead. Nearly 100 hostages remain.
Israel has a right to defend itself. We would. Far too many innocent Palestinians have been killed.
She's not throwing.
Children,
I mean, listen, Chad, for what it's worth, as much as we might disagree with the rhetoric here, like, unfortunately, like, from a political standpoint, she kind of just has to, I think, say that.
Is we need a ceasefire
but I wish she was more
hostages out.
Openly anti-Netanyahu and shit. If she was just like, you know, our left on it, then it'd be too easy for the media to be like, oh, she hates Israel. She doesn't have the jester's privilege like Connor eats pants, you know?
But we must have a
She doesn't get to tell Benjamin Netanyahu to kill himself live on the air.
If I were president, Russia would have never, ever, I know Putin very well.
This wasn't about Ukraine, bro. We're not talking about Ukraine, man. That's going to be a different question, man.
And it is absolutely well known that these dictators and autocrats are rooting for you to be president again because they're so clear. They can manipulate you with flattery and favors. And that is why so many military leaders who you have worked with have told me, you are a disgrace.
Topical.
68 different countries sending people into our country. Their crime rates are way down.
I'm literally Putin sunken into my chair having said that joke, by the way.
Said, I hope she wins. And I think I want the war to stop. I want to save lives that are being uselessly, what I'll do is I'll speak to one, I'll speak to the other, I'll get them together. That war would have never happened.
Wow.
And in fact, when I saw Putin,
that's actually a pretty good plan.
Unfortunately left because
that's good advice. You just need to like talk to people. Like if you have conflict or something's between like you, like
he did it after
talk to people, bro.
Biden had no idea how to talk to him. He had no idea how to stop it. And now you have millions of people dead. And it's only where is our president? We don't even know if he's a president.
And just to clarify
they threw him out of a campaign like a dog. We don't even know.
He's planning 9/11.
But we have a president.
He said it earlier today.
Know he's alive.
He's planning 9/11 right now.
Just to clarify in the question, do you believe it's in the U.S. best interests for Ukraine to win this war, yes or no?
I think it's the U.S. best interest to get this war finished and just get it done.
All right.
Negotiate a deal because we have.
And because of our support, because of the air defense, the ammunition, the artillery, the javelins, the Abrams tanks that we have provided, Ukraine
Abrams needs to be nerfed low-key. If he was giving him that shit, the life steal actually busted in its current state. Just Perry, bro, you're not even good.
They sent her to negotiate peace before this war started. 3 days later, he went in and he started the war because everything they said was weak and stupid. They said the wrong things. That war should have never started.
Bro, they were already amassing troops on the border for like 3 months.
She's worse than Biden. In my opinion, I think he's the worst president in the history of our country.
Whoa.
She goes down as the worst vice president in the history of our country. But let me tell you something.
Well, she can't be worse than Mike Pence, who didn't do the right thing.
He negotiated directly with a terrorist organization.
I can't see.
The president at the time invited the Taliban to Camp David. Americans,
he invited the Taliban to Camp David? That's actually kind of lit.
This former president, as president, invited them.
She was about to say it, bro. She's about to sling it. Dude, I'm telling you, my Taliban TLC reality show idea is still one of my best ideas ever. Dude, I can't believe he did the I'm speaking thing and it just backfired that bad. The annoying thing is that bit still lands with like the lowest common denominator of person. Like they're like, yeah, you got her.
Mr. President, you recently said of Vice President Harris, quote, I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black.
All right.
I want to ask a bigger picture question here tonight. Why do you believe it's appropriate to weigh in on the racial identity of your opponent?
I don't, and I don't care. I don't care what she is. I don't care. You make a big deal out of something. I couldn't care less. Whatever she wants to be is okay with me.
But those were your words, so I'm asking.
I don't know. I mean, all I can say is I read where she was
that's so
not
sweet.
black, that she put out, and I'll say that. And then I read that she was black, and that's okay. Either one was okay with me.
This looks so
That's up
bad
to
for
her.
him. Holy shit.
That's up to her.
Last month, you said, quote, we're working on it. So tonight, 9 years after you first started running, do you have a plan, and can you tell us what it is?
Obamacare was lousy health care.
So just a yes or no, you still do not have a plan?
I have concepts of a plan. I'm not president right now. But if we come up with something, I would only change it if we come up with something that's better and less expensive.
Oh my God! When are they going to talk about how my son came home from school as a girl because the nurse could change his gender?
We have another issue that we'd like to get to that's important for a number of Americans, in particular younger voters, and that's climate change.
Wait, I thought this shit was fake. So what if my kids are going to deal with like stronger hurricanes? That's cool. Storms are interesting. There's nothing better than not being in the storm and then watching the Weather Channel during an active hurricane situation and then seeing the damage in real time. As long as nobody gets hurt, it's a good time.
Between him and his son, they get all this money from Ukraine. They get all this money from all of these different countries.
You made more money off Saudi Arabia in like one deal alone than like Hunter Biden made in like his whole life. I mean, it's great that she's saying all this, but like, we're literally watching in real time as the Xbox brand dies to PlayStation. Like, we're losing our gaming infrastructure solely to foreign nations. Like, where are the gamers right now? Like, there's not going to be an Xbox Series 2. It's not going to happen. It's over. He's snot on his nose. Oh my God, he does, bro.
President Trump, thank you. And that is our ABC News presidential debate from here in Philadelphia at the National Constitution Center.
Eat a booger, bro.
I'm Lindsay Davis.
And I'm David Muir. Thank you for watching here in the U.S. and all over the world, and from all of us here at
Damn,
ABC
this
News.
sucked. I don't know. I thought this was kind of awesome. Could she have done better? Sure. Could she be a better candidate? Absolutely. All I care about is the motherfucker on the left not like ruining all my trans friends' lives or like deporting undocumented people just because they're undocumented.
I'm Jonathan Carl here.
It's just like really simple stuff. Like just like very baseline.